Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. I am Ashwin from Ashwin's Tech Talks, and today's video is the final part of the strings mini-series. And in today's video, we're going to discuss a major string formatting method and some common escape characters used in Python. Now, setting that aside, let's get on with the video, guys. Okay, so in today's video, we're going to start off with one of the most primary formatting methods for strings in Python, known as the format method. And the format method allows us to combine strings and numbers without converting numbers to strings, like the previous video. We can keep it in its numerical data type. So I have created a sample program so we can see how .format works. So let's look at the program, shall we? We have the two variables a and b assigned to the integers 5 and 6. Okay. Then we have the variable txt, our text, and this represents our string or sentence that we want to print to our screen. But look at the string here. We have these curly brackets, right? Well, these curly brackets in the format method is known as placeholders. And placeholders show where our variables or any type of data type that we are using are inserted into the string. So that's what the curly brackets are for. And finally, we have the print statement. So the print statement, and inside the print statement, we have txt.format. Remember, it's a method, okay? And inside the brackets of the method, we have the variable a, variable b, and variable a plus b. Well, what does it do? Well, this is how .format works. First, the .format method takes in the variables that you want to use, which is arguments. The arguments are passed into the brackets. And then the arguments are formatted by the .format method. Finally, these variables or these arguments are placed inside the placeholders of our string. And in this case, since we enclosed our txt.format with the print statement, we can actually print our string in its final stage, formatted and inserted with the correct variables. So let's see how this works, shall we? Let's run our program. See? So we have 5 plus 6 equals 11. Okay, that's correct. But how did we do that? We didn't even put it inside the string. We just put curly brackets. Well, in order to actually insert things into your string, you need to actually put it inside the brackets of the .format method. So in this case, we have the first argument a, and a is our variable assigned to this integer 5. And our next variable is b. b is assigned to the integer 6. Okay, so what does .format do? Well, it looks at this variable, okay, and then it looks at the first placeholder that you have. So it moves by order, and it places this variable into this placeholder. Same with the second variable into the second placeholder. And finally, the third variable, which in this case is a plus b, it places it into the third placeholder. It moves in order, depending on how you put your variables. Now let's look at another example so we can be familiar with using the .format method. Okay, so let's start with the first example of the format method. Now let's create a program where a cashier is telling her customer what his balance is. So we have the variable balance. And let's put this to 1.23, which is $1.23. And let's put our text, right? Our sentence, our string. So let's say, sir, this is the cashier's dialogue. Sir, your balance is, we're not going to put in the balance variable. We're going to put a placeholder. Now what we're going to do is we're going to insert our balance variable into our txt string. So let's do it. First, with the print statement. And let's put balance dot, it's a method, remember, format, and we type in our variable, balance. Oh, sorry, it was txt format. Sorry about that. txt. Always remember, it's a string. that you use, where you want to put in the variable, where the placeholder technically is. That's what you put first. Dot format and then our balance. Let's see if we're correct. Let's run our program. Sir, your balance is $1.23. You can also just put in a dollar sign to make this look more, professional. There we go. Sir, your balance is $1.23. There we go. That's how you use the dot format method for one variable. Let's look at another example where we use multiple variables. Okay, so for the second example, we're going to look at dealing with multiple placeholders using the format method. And let's say we want to add more than one variable or one integer, any numerical data type, into our string. Then we would have to use multiple placeholders in our string. So we're going to create a program. We're going to create a program where we're in the situation where we're ordering something from McDonald's, okay? So we're going to type in every single thing that we want to order. Let's begin with burgers. Burgers. And how many burgers do we want? Let's say we want 4 burgers. And fries. Can't have burgers without fries, right? And let's say we want 3 fries. And finally, we need drinks. Something to wash it down with. And for drinks, we will have, let's say, 4 drinks. It's for 4 people. And let's type in the variable order. And our order is going to represent our string that we want to use and insert our variables in. Okay? So let's say I want 4 burgers. Another placeholder. 3 medium fries. And let's say another placeholder. And let's just say drinks, okay? So, and finally, we're going to put in our print statement. And we're going to put in order dot format. It's a method, remember. And now we're going to put in the order that we want our variables to be placed in our string. So, our first variable is burgers, and that is assigned to the integer 4. And that's going to be placed in our first placeholder. That makes sense, right? 4 burgers. So we put in burgers first. Burgers. Then we want our fries because the next thing we're ordering or saying is fries. And finally, it's our drinks. So the variable drinks. There we go. We got all our variables. Let's run the program. There we go. I want 4 burgers, 3 medium fries, and 4 drinks. Makes sense, right? We can also change the values of our variable and hence change our string. So let's say we want 6 burgers, 4 medium fries, and only 2 drinks this time. Let's run the program. Here we go. I want 6 burgers, 4 medium fries, and 2 drinks. That's it. You can change it. It doesn't matter. You already determined the order of variables placed inside the string by putting the arguments here in this exact order. But what if we change the order? What would happen? Let's see. Let's put fries here before burgers. Let's run our program. Oh, I want 4 burgers, 6 medium fries, and 2 drinks. Oh, that doesn't seem right. Our variable burgers is 6, and here we want burgers to be first. What happened? Well, we changed the order of variables that we want to insert into the placeholders right here in the dot format bracket. So be careful when you're putting your variables inside the dot format bracket because it determines the order of variables that's going to be placed inside your string. So our final example of the format method is going to deal with indexing our placeholders. Now, we're going to write a program which outlines a person's order at a convenience store that he ordered for a party. So let's see what items he ordered. So we first have the variable chips assigned to the variable 5. 5 bags of chips. And drinks. and let's say it's 6. And finally, total cost. So total cost is how much he had to pay in total. And let's say he had to pay $14.56. Now, let's go to our string, which is represented by text. And this is the person's order. So I had to pay dash amount for dash bags of Lay's chips and dash bottles of Pepsi. Let's finally print our string. So print and txt dot format. So we put in our variables, chips, rings, and total cost. There we go. But wait a minute. The first placeholder is actually connected to the total cost that the person had to pay. But in this order, we put chips. That's not correct. He didn't pay $5. He paid $14. So how do we change this? Well, we can manipulate the order of how we want our variables to be placed using indexing. And we're going to index the placeholders in our string. So what variable do we want to put in this placeholder? We want total cost. And that's in this order right here. Now, what is the index of total cost? Remember, in Python, we start counting from the first element, which is 0. So in this case, chips is 0, drinks is 1, total cost is 2. So the index of total cost is 2. We just add a 2 inside the placeholder. Now finally, the next placeholder is connected to how many bags of chips that we order. And that's our first variable, so a 0. And finally, the last placeholder is connected to how many bottles that the person purchased. So it's the second variable, which is, in this case, the index 1. Seems right. Let's check if we did it correctly. So yeah, we got it correct. I had to pay $14.56 for 5 bags of Lay's chips and 6 bottles of Pepsi. There we go. Okay, so the final part of the video, we're going to focus on some of the common escape characters in Python. Escape characters allows us to insert an illegal character inside a string without having a Python error. So let's look at the first escape character, the backslash. So assume we have the string which is assigned to the txt variable. So txt equals string enclosed by double quotation marks. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. Okay, so let's say I want to enclose the word Spain with double quotation marks as well. As you already know, right now, there's a red line, which means that Python is recognizing this as a syntax error. And if I try to run it, it will give me a Python syntax error. Now, we can use the backslash in order to solve this problem. So how do we do it? So we first add the backslash before the first quote, and then in between the word or the string and the last enclosing quote. Right there. See? Now the red line is removed. Why? Because Python knows that this is no longer a syntax error and it's valid. So let's just print our string just to be sure, shall we? Rerun our program. There we go. The rain in Spain enclosed by double quotation marks, falls mainly on the plain. Okay. This can also be used for other purposes. For example, let's say we enclose a string with single quotation marks. And let's put it's raining. Okay? See? Python already recognizes this as a syntax error. So we put the backslash right here. Nope, right there, right here. See, when we put the backslash right here, Python recognizes that it's not a syntax error. Why? Because the escape character, the backslash, actually converts the quote, the S, into an ordinary character, which means that the quote and the S is just a part of the string now. It's just a letter or some kind of character. The function of the quote is just removed. Therefore, Python can actually recognize this as a string. So let's print the string. There we go. It's raining. Now that's a useful tip because when you're using the same types of quotation marks to enclose your strings with. Move on to the second escape character, shall we? So the second escape character involves adding a new line. And we can do that with using the \n. Okay? So let's do it. Let's say we want to print a string txt equals. So I just copied a sentence from Google. And as you can see here, it's actually the definition of the Python programming language. So let's say I want to separate these two sentences. I want to put the last sentence in a new line. How do I do it? Well, we use the \n escape character. So \n. And it will create a new line in Python. So let's run the function. Run the program. And I forgot to put in the print statement. There we go. Let's run the program. There we go. See, we added a new line. And we can remove the space here. Just put that right there, run it again. There we go. The space is removed. And that's a very important tool when you're formatting your strings. Okay? Okay, so the third escape character, /t, allows us to add a tab to our string. So let's say we have the variable txt assigned to a string, coding with Python. And let's say we want to separate this with tabs. \t, \t. And let's print our variable. There we go. Coding tab with tab Python. There we go. That's how you use the tab escape character. Now let's move on to the final escape character known as carriage return, which is \r. And you might be wondering, what does it do? It's better to use an example to demonstrate what carriage return does. So let's do that, shall we? So we have txt once again. We have the string hello world. Hello world, comma, you're welcome. And let's say we put \r right here and \r right here. Print our string. Let's run the program. Let's see what we get. Oh, what happened to our string? It's supposed to be all together, right? Well, no it isn't, because we used the \r escape character. So what carriage return does is that it takes a string that it's followed by and puts it to the beginning of the next line. As you can see here, there was \r before the world in the string, and when we ran the program, it's in the new line, the beginning of the new line. Same as you're welcome. It's in the beginning of the next line. That's what carriage return does. Okay? Okay, we've reached the end of part 3 on strings. Don't worry, we will continue with Python in the next video, where we'll look at the logical and arithmetic operators in Python. Until then, it's bye from Ashwin Tech Talks. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. If you did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and also hit the bell icon to be notified on upcoming videos. Bye-bye.